I think sports is the one thing where, even think about a combine. Like, you are judged by your height, your weight, how fast you can run. Like, this is sports. Like, when I went to UConn, I had to gain 15 pounds. Like, I was, like a bobblehead coming out of high school. It was like stick figure straight up. And so I kind of just looked at it as a part of my job, but I never take like it for granted that I didn't have any body issues or body self-esteem issues, because for me, I strictly looked at it as like, this is what I need to do to be the best. So hearing her say that, it was like, man, in my mind, it's just part of the game. But I obviously recognize that people process things so different.
Yeah, I feel like for me, it was very different because I rode horses competitively, show jumping on a national level, and my weight was attached to everything. And one year I went away and had an issue with an eating disorder in the off season and came back about 15 pounds thinner. And all people said was how great I looked, right? Because I was so tiny. And my friends who rode with me, who knew what I was going through, were resentful of it because they knew I was doing it the wrong way. So oftentimes that can really scar you emotionally at a young age, and it's hard to get rid of that.
Yeah, I think sometimes compliments like that can have a backsliding effect. I know when people tell me like, oh, wow, you look so good, you look so skinny, I'm like, oh no, what did I do? I'm trying to normalize the opposite way. Yeah. But I think that, good for her for using her big voice in the form of putting pen to paper, because she made a lot of changes, and I think that's really good. That's really helpful for that whole community.
It makes me think about Jonah Hill. Like, he's on his journey with his body. Yeah. And basically he was telling everybody, like, just stop even talking about my body altogether. Like, just full stop. Don't do it. But I think kind of to your point, it gets to the point where it's like, I don't even want to hear the compliments because it reminds me of whatever you could have been thinking before. But I mean, for me, it's so, like, people all the time tell me, like, because people recognize how I was as a player. So now when, like, I'll see, like, former colleagues or former, like, teammates, they'll be like, you all right? You looking a little thin. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm thankful that these things don't bother me, because I think that is a very sports thing. Like, we look at the body is what you judge in sports. And so for her to show that other side of it, where it's like, we are humans, but it's like I think I'm a little bit of a robot because I don't care what anybody says.
But we talked about this before. I think there is something about the idea that maybe Black women are more comfortable in their bodies, and maybe there's a body positive message that's more emphatic in the Black community than there is in the white community.
I mean, I know my parents, like, they've never talked about my body to me. It's, the worst thing was I had to sit at the dinner table and finish my plate, baby. So I don't care if them beans was sitting there all night. I got to sit there. I got to look at the beans until I eat them, because that's just what it was. And so we didn't have body issues, definitely not from but did your parents mention anything about your weights?
Well, my mother she'd always say, I don't give out the clean plate award.
Oh, okay. So come on, Mom. Mom. Come on, Mom. What are we doing?
That's all right. You know what the truth is like, I do think there's something to be said for that. I do think that there's so much pressure to look a certain way. I think especially in Los Angeles, God knows that it's such a way to look a certain way. But I really appreciated what she had to say. And I think it was very brave of her. And I think as we head into Mental Health Month, even that much more, we're going to share a lot more of those stories as well.
This is Women's Sports Now, and I shouldn't have to tell you this, but go subscribe so you don't miss any of our episodes. We're on every Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. On the ESPN app. So there's no excuses. Watch us anytime, but we're on Thursday at 6 p.m. I'll see you there.